Welcome to Off Brand by Cocokind. I'm Priscilla Tsai, Cocokind's founder and CEO, and each week I get into the real, unfiltered side of building a brand alongside our community and creating substantive beauty products. We don't believe in trying to be anyone but ourselves, and we don't think you should either. So come along as we get real and imperfect, go deeper on topics most beauty companies won't, and get a bit off brand. Hi everyone, welcome back to Off Brand by Cocokind. I'm excited to be back today. I took a week off last week and actually made a decision with Off Brand by Cocokind to do every other week. And the reason I made that decision is just I'm trying to balance my time, and I'll be really transparent. There's questions about when I'm doing TikTok lives or when we're going to do more content, when I'm going to do more blog posts, and I'm trying to balance it all. And I realize that a lot of our community is loving the TikTok lives, and I want to make sure that I have time for that. And when I was doing the podcast for several weeks in a row, I just didn't have as much time for that. So one of the things I've decided to do is just record the podcast on a bi-weekly basis. And then on the other weeks to make sure that we're hosting TikTok live. So over the coming weeks, we might be doing one TikTok live every other week, or maybe try to build up to weekly TikTok lives. But since I know that's a format that people love, I definitely want to be able to show up there more. So I know some people have been loving the podcast. We'll continue to do the podcast on a bi-weekly basis, but also make sure that I have time to just show up other places as well. So that's an update on the podcast. The other update on the podcast that I have been thinking about is just the idea that on our podcast, which will now be bi-weekly, I want to do really like a behind the scenes update on the business, like things that have happened or things that we're working on. I've already been kind of doing that in the previous podcast episodes, but I want to make sure that kind of like bi-weekly update exists for you all, where I'm kind of able to talk about all the things that have happened in the last 2 weeks. So that's what I want to start off with today. We do have a really big announcement today on the podcast, which is what limited edition product is coming back. So that's really big. But before that, I want to kind of talk about the last 2 weeks, all the interesting things that have been happening behind the scenes, and go from there. Thank you for being here. So, okay, the first thing I want to announce is since the last time we spoke, all the community members who are coming with us to New York have been announced. So we have Kelsey, Chelsea, Paige, Amanda, Noah, Cynthia, Ren, and Rachel. The 8 of them are going to be coming with us to New York in October, just in a couple of weeks here. We're knee deep in planning all the fun activities. We actually had this one activity that I was so excited about. Fall through yesterday because there's someone who wasn't available to give us a tour of this really amazing factory where they make bags out of recycled, thrown away grocery bags from New York. And that was going to be a core part of the activity. Anyways, that company is amazing. They're called Any Bag. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to give us a tour, so I can't share that with you because it's not actually happening. But we're now filling the schedule and making sure that we have something really amazing throughout the entire weekend in October with our community brand trip people. So congrats to all 8 of you. And we really felt like this is a group that is representative of the Cocokind community. We have people who don't post on social media at all, people who post on Instagram or TikTok, long-standing customers, newer people in our community too that are just super passionate. And it was really that combination of a lot of different types of people that made it all come together. But I will say it was incredibly challenging. And I put out a TikTok about this where honestly, we get really nervous as we announce more and more people because I just know from all of your perspectives, you know that there are less and less spots. And I can imagine after putting in so much time, into something that it's a bummer to not be chosen. And it's one of those things we didn't really realize like how many people would apply to our brand trips when we first launched it. I mean, of course, we knew it was going to be an exciting like thing that people would want to do, but to have, so many people put in so much effort, whether it's on social media or off social media, and our team to kind of absorb all of that and have to make a decision for 8 people, is an incredibly tough decision. And I get a lot of anxiety that after you all realize that the winners have been announced that you all go away, and I hope you don't. I hope that we continue to earn your loyalty and your passion. We really are trying to build a long-standing community, so even though we kind of have these like momentary brand trip cycles, I would say we really hope that you stick around. And we get anxiety about the fact that like maybe you'll be disappointed and walk away, but we hope you don't. That's why we're trying to just make sure that we have a well-rounded community program, so not just brand trips, trips because we know that ultimately is only going to serve a very select few every single year. Even if we did 3 or even 4 brand trips, that's only, max 30 some people out of a community of literally hundreds of thousands of people that are purchasing Cocokind products. And so it's important for us to have other opportunities, right, that are fun and engaging and make you feel like the main character, like our PR drops, our free PR mailer drops, I should say. And we're continuously finding ways to make sure that you feel at the center of everything we do. So I know it is a bummer if you don't get chosen, but I hope you stick around. And I promise we're going to work super hard to make sure we earn your passion. And actually, one thing that came up that I just want to talk about quickly is that our TikTok platform, we're trying to figure out the best way to make sure that we're engaging with all the posts. And that recently came up. Haley mentioned it on a live that we did. And honestly, I'm embarrassed to say I didn't even realize like the volume because we are looking in notifications, whether it's our notifications or our mentions. And of course, our team is interacting with the posts that come up with notifications. And we kind of didn't realize that once the notifications like fill up, because we're getting like hundreds of videos posted about us a day, you can't scroll backwards on that, and that's our only way. Like unlike Instagram where you clearly have a place to interact, on TikTok it's actually way more challenging. And so our team is definitely looking into like what are the systems and the processes that we use to make sure that we're seeing all of your posts and interacting with them. I will say that we do use a software in the back end to make sure that all of your posts were counted towards your trip like applications per se. Like we see all of that, but it's not a software where you can like and comment from it. So we definitely saw it, but we need to make sure that we're engaging with your posts. And that's really important to me. So we're going to be figuring that out over the next couple of weeks. And I was definitely bummed to hear that we were missing so many because it's really important to me to make sure that we are seeing them, but to also have that engagement from us and to express that like gratefulness for you taking the time to post something about Cocokind. So definitely want to make sure we're working on that. Speaking of kind of like community activations and things like that, I am recording this on a Thursday, and this Sunday we're actually doing a New York Fashion Week activation. So by the time this comes out, I think we would have posted about it. And this podcast is coming out next Tuesday, so I'll be back by then. And we're really excited because we're taking some of the people who are so passionate about our brand in New York to New York Fashion Week. We had the opportunity to bring 4 community members to a fashion show for Dauphinet. And Dauphinet is a API owned and designed fashion brand, and they're doing a showing this Sunday. And I'm so excited because in the past we've actually done New York Fashion Week activations, but more in the world of our influencer community. And this time to kind of have it be the broader community, right? Representative of, yes, an influencer, but also community members, customers too. I'm really, really excited about that. So you'll learn more about the ladies that we're taking to New York Fashion Week soon. But that is coming up this weekend, and I cannot wait for that. It's going to be really cool. I'm flying in Saturday and I leave Monday morning. So it's very quick of a cross country trip, but totally worth it. And I cannot wait to share about that. So you will see that by the time this podcast comes out, and we'll be doing more and more things just like that. We'd like to do these like localized events. The next thing I wanted to talk about is just thanking everybody for supporting at Target, because we have launched our lip at Target. I've talked about the side cap there, and it's doing really well. And that's amazing because honestly, we haven't talked about Target all year, and our lippies haven't been there. And to have this type of reception is really, really needed, actually. Like we really needed this win for our business at Target. The side cap looks absolutely beautiful. So if you see it, it's actually there for a long time. The side cap is going to be in Target stores for 8 weeks, which is incredible. Thank you, Target team. So if you see it, take a picture. Hopefully we still have inventory, and we really appreciate you going out to stores, whether it's anywhere you go, anywhere you align yourself with that you want to shop with, that's convenient to you. We always appreciate any purchase wherever it is of Cocokind. The next thing I want to talk about is we actually this week did something really fun, which is we did a customer focus group on a new product that we're developing. And this is a new product that is not coming out for a really long time. Like I'm talking 9 months or something, 10 months maybe. And usually when we do our customer focus groups on product development, it happens after the formula at least is already final, because we have so many milestones and we're always working to these timelines. Actually coordinating a customer focus group with like 30 people to try a new product is really difficult, because sometimes a lab can't even make samples for 30 people. And by the way, we're still iterating on formula. So not only does a lab have to make it for our team, but then also for 30 people, but then they also have to iterate on that and then make more samples of that revised formula for all those people again, and then do that again, right? It's very costly. It's very time consuming. And that previously hasn't worked with our timelines. But it really is something that I think is a miss, because when you're just testing a formula after it's already done and then you get feedback from your customers, there's just intelligence there from you actually using our products that we're missing out on. And no matter how many people we test it within our team and our kind of product development community, having our actual customers try it is really important. So I'm really excited and I'm proud of our efforts there. It took a lot of work from our product development team to make sure these timelines could work for us and that we could really get together all these lab samples and still feel confident that we have the time to iterate based on your feedback. So we actually did that really for like one of the first times. We have done this in the past, but this is really, I'd say, a big effort that we put into this particular new product launch here. And we did 30 some people. We ended up having everybody try the products. And then we had 3 different customer focus group calls because we didn't want it to be like 30 people on a Zoom call with us. And getting feedback like that is really overwhelming if there's like 30 people in a room and maybe you don't feel comfortable speaking up. So we actually broke everybody up into 3 different groups and then hosted these conversations. And I told them, like, this is a big investment that we're making in this product. Like, we don't have to launch it as is. You don't have to be super nice on this. You could tell us your real feelings. We had people who loved it, people who didn't, and all kind of like really useful, incredible feedback for us, whether it was on texture or the finish or whatever of the product. And we are basically taking that. We met as a product development team for a couple hours, took that feedback, decided how we're going to iterate on the formula, and then we're submitting that back to our lab and chemists to make the next round. Then we're going to make the next round again, make like there's 50 lab samples, which is a lot for a lab. It's like the lab is very small batch, right? It's like you're making like 5, 10 samples max. So for them to make like 50 to 100 samples is a lot. So thank you everybody that's working on this project with us in the lab. But we are then going to make that revised formula, send it back to the same people, and then again get their response, get their feedback, and we'll really do that as many times as needed to make sure the product is right. Of course, we do have a timeline. We're hoping to approve a formula in the fall winter here. This particular project is so big. It's really exciting, but it's also a very large investment for various reasons, which I'll share once I'm able to talk more about the product. Yeah, it's definitely worth it to us to invest in the testing and make sure that we're getting it right before we go down the line at all. So thank you. If you're one of those people who joined our call this week, our calls this week, I should say, thank you so much for joining and participating and being really real and open with your feedback and for just like trusting us to try something new on your skin. It definitely got us really excited about it because sometimes we have visions in our head for product development. It starts as a concept, right? And it starts in your head and then you envision it and you put it down on paper and then you get samples of it. We've actually, as an internal team, we've already tested like 5, 6 rounds of samples here. You have this vision in your head. You get kind of like lost in the whole product development cycle of it. And sometimes like where you end up is totally different from where you started. And then sometimes you're so in it that it's hard to see, like, is this just exciting to us? Like, is it just going to be exciting to us and nobody else? And is this something that has gotten so far away from our original concept? Are we hitting our original concept right on? If we've deviated from the concept, is that really still value add in the market? Anyways, product development is so intense. You can get really lost in the process of it and not see the forest of the trees. So for us to have that check with our actual customers and community this week, it actually made me more excited. Like I wasn't fearful of the feedback at all. I feel so excited about this product. I do feel really validated that we're onto something. We definitely have some tweaks and improvements to make for sure. But I think once we are able to accomplish those, this is going to be an incredible products, I should say. So thank you to everybody for contributing to that if you are part of the focus group. And I know there's other people who were reached out to for the focus group. So more and more opportunities like this will exist. And we'll try to make sure that when we do this in the future, that we bring in new people. So like, everybody or people who want to get more and more of an opportunity to be a part of these focus groups. Okay. So before I get into an announcement today and everything, I did want to just shout out, I got this cute little present in the mail at our office. And I want to shout out Laura. For those of you who are just listening, what I'm showing on camera is a watercolor painting that Laura from Blooming with Sakura, that's her username on TikTok, literally painted for us. It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful, adorable, and it's a painting of our Be Kind shade of our ceramide lip blur balm. And I put it in a picture frame here. I'm going to put it in my fixture back here so I have it. And Laura, this is truly so beautiful, so sweet, made my day, and I'm going to cherish this alongside the other gifts we've received from our community, which I can't even believe that is something that exists. There are people out there who want to gift us stuff. And anyways, I just wanted to shout you out because this is really, really, really beautiful. And I'm so grateful. And I will definitely cherish this. So shout out to Laura. Now I want to shift gears to our PR mailer. So last week we actually dropped a PR mailer. And I don't think I've actually talked about the free PR mailer program in detail here. So let me talk about that and give you a little background. And then we're going to talk about last week's PR mailer because it had a surprise product that has not been announced yet. And then we'll talk about that surprise product. So first things first, when it comes to our free PR mailer program, where this all started, we as a brand, we send out lots of PR mailers to our influencer community. Our influencer community is incredibly important. I've said that time and time again, and they are part of our community. They are a really important part of our community. Our ecosystem literally would not be here without our influencer community. I never want to downplay that because truly that is facts. We wouldn't be here without our influencer part of our community. And we send out PR mailers to them for new drops or like updates or whatever fun activations that we do, right? And instead of sending these like super elaborate, crazy PR mailer boxes where the box itself, not the product, but the box itself costs like 20 or 30 or even more dollars per mailer, we keep it kind of simple in our PR mailer so that we can use those dollars to do things like our community trips and other things for our community. Now, one of the most common DMs that we will get, whether it's on Instagram or TikTok or even in our inbox, will be people saying like, can I get a PR mailer? We get that question nonstop every single day and from a lot of people. And so when we are thinking about our community program here and making sure that you all feel really special and that we're giving it back to you in terms of like the passion that you're showing to us, we want to show it back to you. We definitely wanted to come up with this free PR mailer program that allowed people who are really passionate to also have the opportunity to get free PR mailers. And that is something that I think is like really aligned with us. I think it is expensive, but it's well worth it because there's so many people who are wanting to show their love for Cocokind, but maybe don't have like the dollars every single launch to support. So sure, we want to make sure that we're giving those PR mailers to our community. Maybe there are people in our community that are emerging content creators, and it's a lot to be a content creator. You have to like have all these products to try. And if you're having to spend all the money to have the money to get all those products in the first place, it's very expensive. So for some people who are either passionate customers, we want to give it back to you. For people who are emerging content creators, we want to give it back to you. But we truly get like a really large volume of requests every single day. It's like truly our most appeared DM request is, can I get free PR? So that was the idea. And we weren't just going to do like one of them where it was like a giveaway of, okay, this month we're doing a giveaway. We want it to actually be a program, a free PR mailer program. And so the one that we did last week, I want to say that's our fourth time doing free PR mailers, maybe fifth, but we definitely have had an evolution with our free PR mailer program. I seriously think that the team and we're still a little bit scarred and jarred from our first PR mailer program drop, and maybe even our second one too. Like definitely the free PR mailer program gives us a sense of anxiety because the first two were such a disaster. For the first PR mailer program, we worked on this thing for 2 months. 2 months as a marketing and digital team. There's this software and it's not their fault and they're doing great things and they will get their product together. But there's a software that is relatively new to the market that basically allowed us to have you DM us and us like DM you a link right back. That in itself is not that hard, but the software also did really cool things like would be able to like surface your posts, and we wanted to integrate it with our loyalty program. So if you're posting, you would get points for it. Anyways, we worked on this thing for 2 months and the PR mailer program was a big part of it. So we had this whole like this idea in the system where it was like, okay, we're going to drop the PR mailer post. You're going to get a special word. Then you're going to send this word to our DM and you're going to DM us. And then we're going to send you a link to our squiz, which is our skincare quiz. Then you're going to take that. And then if you get it right, we would DM you being like, you got it right. And you would get a link to check out. And if you didn't, then you would get other communication saying like, unfortunately, you didn't get the right answer, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, we should have realized that obviously dropping something like this, you're going to get a ton of volume. And those particular posts actually for our free PR mailer program, when it launched, or when we talked about it for the first time, those posted really well. So I feel like we got a lot of new people in following us and stuff. So then when we actually launched the word, we got literally, I'm not even exaggerating, thousands of that word in our DM within like 1 minute. This is not a regular ad. This is a useful ad, okay? You guys know how much I love our ceramide lip blur balms. It feels like the perfect cushion on your lips, not too sticky, but perhaps the best selling point is that you actually won't lose it after 2 days because of our custom packaging that has a built-in keyring attached to it. I put cute charms on it. I attach it to my purse. I have my own chain. I do not lose it. And not only that, let me remind you that they are only $12. We knew that when we could create a formula at a more accessible price point, that it was totally worth launching. People are spending $20 or $30 like serum level prices on lip balms, which is just totally unnecessary. So we want to bring a sensitive lip option to the market that is unflavored and unscented at $12. We are so proud that all 5 shades were accepted by the National Eczema Association. If you haven't tried them yet, this is your sign to go pick one or two or three up now. I saw it launch and then I went into DMs and I just start seeing like just waves and waves and waves of DMs. And I'm like, oh my God, yay, it's happening. And then like literally like 30 seconds in, I'm like, wait, but why are they not getting the automatic reply with the link? I can't even scroll fast enough, my fingers, because they're coming in the thousands DMs, right? So I can't even scroll enough, but basically I see that the PR mailer drop truly sold out within 30 seconds and only the very earliest people got this link and they checked out. Everybody else, the whole auto reply DM system just completely crashed. So some people were getting it, some people were just not getting a response at all. It was a true disaster. This is within like 2 minutes of it launching. Then at the same time, I start seeing comments on our posts being like, this is a scam. This is, not working. I'm not getting my link. This is so disappointing. I've been waiting here for 3 hours. Like, this is a scam, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, freaking out. Like, what is happening? These comments, people are so angry and it's just nothing's working. And meanwhile, we're still getting people DMing us this word. So more hundreds and hundreds of more DMs are coming in by like the second. So I'm not even kidding you. Within 8 minutes, like I lived 8 lives. Our team is like frantically slacking. I actually remember, I think it was Lee from our Napa trip or somebody from our Napa trip texted being like, or maybe it was Kayla from Miami, either Miami or Napa trip people in our community texted our group chain being like, hang in there, Cocokind team. Just want to say you're doing great. And I was like, I'm like about to cry. It was an absolute disaster. So we basically were like, oh my God, the software that we invested like 2 months of our time into developing and trying to link with our loyalty program and build this whole PR mailer drop thing totally crashed. And it wasn't their fault. It was a volume thing and they're a newer software and they'll work on it over time. And who knows, maybe we'll work with them down the line. They put a lot of effort into it too. And it ultimately just didn't work. And it was just too voluminous to be able to support that. So second drop, we were like, okay, we're going to do a squiz. And this time we're just going to do like a type form squiz, like an external link squiz. It's not gonna be that complicated and we're not gonna do the whole DM thing. It's just gonna be a link in bio. So we were extremely nervous for that. I remember I was traveling and sitting in my hotel room, like waiting for it, so nervous because how badly the first time went. And then we ended up doing it and the quiz was too easy. I think it was only one question or something. And anyways, it was too easy. So again, it sold out so quickly within a minute. And then people were really upset because they were checking out. And by the time they like entered their address information, the PR mailers were gone. So then we decided, okay, we're not going to do that format. I did a TikTok live, got people's feedback, and we basically decided that we were going to change up the format to be a couple different things. One of the feedback was like, this is too stressful because it basically needs to be done within 30 seconds or less, right? And so we decided to make it a harder squiz. So not just like a simple squiz where it was like, okay, the answer is kind of obvious of like, what benefit does a calming magnesium mist do? Like I've talked about it so much that was like obvious. It's not going to be an obvious squiz. It's going to be something that you really do need to be tuning into our content to be able to get right. So that was our first edit, is like make it harder, make it like 5, 6, 7 questions and make it actually harder for people who are really listening, whether it's a podcast, you're investing time to listen to me talk for 30 minutes or more, or it's my different TikToks or our team's TikToks or emails, whatever it is, and make that harder. Instead of having it be like first come, first serve, we made it like a whole hour long. So the quiz itself only takes a couple minutes. We give people a full hour now to do it. So you don't have to get there right at 9 a.m. You can get there at 9:30, 9:15, 9:45. As long as you submit your answers by 10 a.m., you're going to be counted. So it's not this like mad rush and maybe people just couldn't do it. Maybe they were like transitioning between meetings or whatever it is. And it's just like too stressful to be there in the exact 30 seconds you need. So we have harder quiz, we have it a full hour. And then out of all the people who get a right answer, then we enter those people into our own lottery. And then we'll email those people at the end of the day by 5 p.m. Pacific time that they got the right answer and they got a PR mailer. We already have their address and everything. So we just send it out directly. We don't even kind of have this whole checkout system on our website anymore. And for everybody else who didn't get the right answers, you'll get the right answers in your inbox and know that you didn't get all of them right. So that's kind of the new system. And it actually worked really well for us last time. I'm recording this on a Thursday. The next PR mailer drop is happening tomorrow. So we'll see. Fingers crossed that the fourth PR mailer drop went smoothly as well. Like I said, our team is extremely anxious when it comes to PR mailer drops. That's also why I've seen some comments of people saying like, can you do them on a weekend? We really can't. We were so anxious about it. And there's like a million things that could go wrong, especially when there's so many people trying to get something that's free. We actually all need to be like plugged in on our computers, make sure that everything worked and that the squiz is linking right at 9 a.m. The answers were submitted. It's all working. There's enough, kind of support on the overall, like the link itself, that it doesn't crash. We just all have to be plugged in here. I do think it's going to be a little bit more calm for us these days because the system is less like crazy and the process for the PR mailer jobs, but we're still very nervous about it. So that's why they happen during business hours on weekdays. So that is kind of like the behind the scenes of PR mailer drops. We actually are planning for, I feel like I talk about PR mailer drops on social like every week. I swear it feels like we do them every week. But again, I think it's because we're so anxious about them because of our failed experience here. But we are going to be doing them every month. So every month we'll have something different. And sometimes it'll be something new, a secret. Sometimes it'll be 100 mailers. Maybe it's like something extremely new, very expensive. So 50 mailers. Sometimes it'll be 200. We'll kind of figure out what we can manage in terms of the overall expense and our budget and our availability of inventory and everything. But it's really exciting to me that when all is said and done, we're going to have like thousands of PR mailers go out to our community. And that's something that we weren't doing last year. So really exciting when we are able to build these like new things to make sure that it's like a regular program that you feel like it's like, oh, you recognize it, you understand what Cocokind's free PR mailer program is. And we're especially rewarding people who are there with us, right? Who are really listening to our content. So it's less so like, hey, you've just heard about Cocokind, landed on our page. Can I get a free PR mailer? Probably not for you, but if you stick around and you listen to our content, then you're definitely going to get that opportunity. So maybe it's not when you first learn about us, but when you really get to know the brand a little bit, then you really start to have those opportunities of getting the free PR mailer. So thank you for everybody for the feedback, even though we are scarred by the failed experiences of the first two mailers or just kind of franticness of it. I think you are too. And the feedback of just kind of all those comments, like obviously took it really seriously. We were disappointed that in those first instances of the PR mailer drops, obviously the last thing we would want is for it to be this like fun program. We're intending to be this like hype, exciting thing for our community, to then disappoint so many people was like the last thing on earth that we wanted to do. So we were really disappointed by that. We were really bummed by that. We were like, should we even be doing this? Because if people are just going to be disappointed, maybe we shouldn't do this. But I think we found a system, fingers crossed, that makes it more calm for everybody and both you and us internally to like host it. And there's going to be so many of them that I hope that, people who are really passionate, I really believe you're going to have plenty of opportunities to get the free PR mailers. So thank you for being with us as we iterated through that process. Now we have a free PR mailer drop that happened last week. And actually it was the first PR mailer drop that we did not share one product that was in the free PR mailer. And so I want to tell you here today on this podcast what it is. Okay, so this is our first PR mailer drop, like I said, where we did not show you explicitly what is in the box. We do know that there's a ceramide body oil stick. We also know that there is a ceramide barrier serum, but there was one product that was blurred out that is not out there yet, and that's what I'm going to be revealing here today. For all the people who got the free PR mailer from last week, it's in the mail, so you'll get it this week, but I don't think anybody currently knows what this product is. So for the first time ever, I am letting you know that the product that is coming back and that was in the free PR mailer drop is the body cleansing bar. So we ran a limited edition run of 5,000 units of our body cleansing bar. And that is what was in the free PR mailer drop. And it's actually launching tomorrow. A little bit of backstory for those of you who don't know. This product, the body cleansing bar, we actually launched it 2 years ago. It had the same exact formula, packaging, except for this whole wrap was red. We decided to just kind of play around with it this time and make it green, just something a little bit different. But it's the exact same formula. We actually launched it 2 years ago for Black Friday. That was such a hit. It was really wild. And then we decided to bring it back last year, but in a much smaller quantity. And we sold out within 4 hours of Black Friday. It was nuts. And this year we decided to run more of it. So we ran 5,000 of these, and it's still limited edition, but is officially dropping on our website tomorrow. So what is it? The body cleansing bar is a cleansing bar that you put in your shower and you use to clean your body. And what's really amazing about this is it somehow has this like creamy, soft lather, bubbly texture, but it is truly soft. Like when you use soaps or you use like different body washes, and sometimes you get this like rubbery feeling on your body. This does not have that. It's very, very minimal. It's more of like a soft feeling after you rinse it off. And that's something that was really important to us when it came to developing this product. It's got ceramides in it. It's got oats in it for that soothing, that barrier support. And we are really excited to be able to bring it back. It is limited edition, and there's a couple reasons why. I know there are a lot of fans out there of this product who want us to make it a permanent product, but unfortunately we did decide that it is going to just still be a limited edition product for us. And two reasons, and I've talked about these two reasons in the past. They're pretty much the same reasons that we talk about like not doing a deodorant or things like that, at least for now. And that is that one, our retailers wouldn't take this product. It would be a totally different category in the soap aisle. And with just one SKU, one product like this, it would be totally lost on the shelf. And so that's something that we would not have the volume from our retailers to be able to support this product in a real quantity that made sense for us. So we're working with really, really small quantities that are even challenging to have our manufacturer do. The second reason is that it's $12 full price. And that $12 is because of our ingredients and our formula, and also a little bit because of the smaller quantity that we make. So unlike, Procter and Gamble, who is like running like a quarter million, if not more, soaps, per production run, for us to be able to only do like 5,000 units, that's like a really big ask. Like that is not a normal quantity for a soap or a cleansing bar. And so that's kind of an exception. And it's not really, that's something that our manufacturer would typically do. But that means the price is going to be higher too. So it's a combination of like the ingredients we use, overall formula, and the quantity and the production of it that makes it so that we really can't price it on a full price basis under $12. So $12, as we know, we totally understand that's an expensive cleansing bar. If you go to a store, most cleansing bars or soaps are going to be like, $2, $3, $4. To be $12 is really expensive. I mean, it's extremely expensive. And so that is just not really the Cocokind way of doing things. It's not really in line with our product portfolio to have a product that is just like a more expensive version of what's out there. And so that just doesn't really feel like a brand fit for us. It doesn't really feel like a retailer fit. We know that that wouldn't happen either. And in terms of operational complexity, it actually ends up being kind of complex because of the quantity. And it takes just as much work to run this as it would a product for us that is sold in retailers. So of course we have to manage our team's time and resources and make sure that, we're putting in the right time into the right products. And so for all those reasons, it doesn't make sense as a permanent item, and why we feel like it's best suited to be a limited edition product. And one thing I forgot to mention about the soap is that it is fragrance free. So I know there are people who need to have a fragrance soap or cleansing bar. My husband is one of them, or like he needs to have this like annoyingly strong scent in the shower to feel like he's clean. That's not me. I don't need that at all. But this is a fragrance free cleansing bar. And we actually did consider putting essential oils in this winter to kind of have that like fresh eucalyptus vibe. But then ultimately we decided let's just stick to the original formula because people love that. And maybe like next year, if you guys want us to next year in the limited edition have scents to it or have like one scent to it, let us know. But we decided this year, like, let's just stick to what we know people love and not overly complicate it with the essential oils. Yeah, this is a completely fragrance free cleansing bar. So that's a reason why it's limited edition. We did make 5,000 of them. We do anticipate this being available on our website really into the holidays. So I don't think you need to like rush immediately. But it's one of those things where like last year it did sell out really, really quickly, way faster than we expected. And it is limited edition, which means that like once it sells out, this 5,000, like it's going to be gone and we're not going to bring it back until like this time next year. So for those people who have used this product in the past and love it, I've heard so many testimonials about like how this is people's favorite cleansing bar. Definitely stock up on it. And if it's available during Black Friday still, it will be available on sale then. I just don't know if it's going to definitely be available on our Black Friday sale. So TBD on that. But in the meantime, stock up and we hope you love it, enjoy it. Now, there's one thing that I'm really excited to share, and that is that this time we're actually donating all net proceeds from the entire run of this, so the whole 5,000 units, to a really amazing nonprofit organization that's actually local to the Bay Area called The Body Positive. And we have done some really great work with The Body Positive this year. They actually Connie, the founder of The Body Positive, came to Napa to do a little engagement and activity with our community trip people then, and it was so amazing. So I want to tell you a little bit about The Body Positive, but first I want to set some context because I just want to share some of the reason why working with an organization like The Body Positive is so incredibly important to us. So I just want to share some stats. So in 2023, we surveyed our community of thousands of people, and 82% of people said they compare themselves to what they see on social media. We had seen previous research suggests that 61% of teens say beauty filters make them feel worse about their appearance. Almost 1 in 5 teens use a beauty filter on every single post. And according to a 2023 survey, teenagers spent an average of 4.8 hours on social media platforms every day. The amount of time we're spending on social media and what our brains are taking in as like what our appearance should look like because of what we're seeing on social media, to me, there's absolutely no question that social media is shaping how we view our own appearance, and it's impacting us mentally and physically. not just for us, but the next generation and then the next generation after that. It really is a mental health crisis. 2 years ago, we ran this like no filter pledge where we had thousands of people in our community sign a pledge to not use filters. But just knowing this, I really believe that as a leading disruptor beauty company, kind of like a next gen beauty company like Cocokind, it is so critical to our mission to help improve the younger generation's mental and physical health as it relates to skin and overall body positivity. And as someone who's really struggled with both skin positivity and body positivity and my own sense of self and appearance because of my skin, because of my body for decades, this is just incredibly important to me. It really hits home. And I encourage you to really research what the body positive does. And of course, I'm going to share with you here today a little bit more too. The body positive was founded by Connie, and she is an incredibly passionate founder about what she does. For 28 years, they have been taking on this exact health crisis. And you can imagine that in that 28 years, the landscape has changed significantly. We didn't have social media 28 years ago. Her work is more important than ever. And the work that she does, she's literally helped millions of people worldwide reclaim their health and their beauty and their confidence in their daily lives because of the education and the curriculum that she's put out there. So if you go on the Body Positive, they've developed these courses for educators and for other people in the community to help learn a little bit more about what they call the positive embodiment. And it's this whole framework that they use to help people feel more confident in their own beauty. I'm just going to read a little bit about the Body Positive from their website and their bio, just so you have an understanding of this. So the physical and mental well-being of millions of people around the world is being undermined every day by how they are seen and treated because of their physical appearance, whether it's weight, skin, color, hair texture, style, disability. Appearance-based discrimination often causes individuals to have severe and persistent negative attitude towards their physical appearance, and that they're summing up and terming body dissatisfaction. And body dissatisfaction can trigger a wide range of negative emotions, including anxiety, depression, self-loathing, as well as physical, very serious conditions as well, of course. In the United States alone, 45 million people ages 10 and up experienced dissatisfaction with their bodies in 2019, and that number has greatly increased throughout COVID. And I think that number will continue to increase because of how widely and how much time we're spending on social media. So, to address that public health crisis, the Body Positive was founded 28 years ago. And their work helps people of all ages replace their body dissatisfaction with a life changing perspective called positive embodiment, an essential developmental capacity linked to mental health and resilience. So, they're basically teaching you and your mind how to process all the images and the information you see out there that impacts how you view your own physical appearance, whether it's skin or body. That's what their framework is doing. Positive embodiment refers to inhabiting one's body in an attuned and responsive manner, equipped with critical thinking skills to address appearance-based feelings, right? So maybe you're scrolling on social media and you see something and you don't even like consciously realize how it's impacting you. That's what the body positive is teaching you, is how to stop, critically think about what you're looking at and make sure that doesn't impact you as much as it is with you unconsciously kind of absorbing in all these images. Body positive promotes resilience by teaching people practical skills to support themselves with self-compassion and attuned relationship to the body, sustainable self-care behaviors, and positive connection with others. And these resources provide people with effective coping strategies to face adversity without internalizing the difficulties and traumas in their lives and experiencing self-loathing and conflicts with their bodies and self-care. So I just wanted to read that to you because that's their bio. It is incredibly important to me. We have donated to the Body Positive this year. This is a big part of our contribution to them this year too, is donating all the net proceeds from our body cleansing bar, which we felt like, for obvious reasons, it's a great fit for that, for us to be able to talk about the Body Positive and share their work here. We're going to be talking more about them on social media in the coming weeks, but definitely wanted to introduce them to you. And we thank you for supporting us and supporting them. If you want to support them directly, absolutely go for it. Truly amazing. All the millions of people they've touched because of their work. Connie is a true educator when it comes to body positivity and positive body embodiment. So, I highly encourage you guys to look into them and really appreciate your support of them. So that is kind of the wrap up of this week's podcast. We've talked a little bit about all the updates, all the things that are happening behind the scenes, as well as our brand new limited edition body cleansing bar that's making its debut return here. And if there are any other questions, feel free to DM me or hit me up. I'll be back in 2 weeks with another update. There's so much that happens in a 2 week time frame. I swear, like I can't even keep up. So that's why I'm actually really glad that these podcasts have this new format of kind of updating on the past 2 weeks, because a lot can happen and there's just so much that we'll want to share. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for supporting a body cleansing bar. Thank you for looking into researching and supporting the Body Positive, this amazing organization. For those of you who got the free PR mailer with the body cleansing bar, congrats. I hope you love it so much. And for those of you who've been waiting for this for a whole year to come back, thank you so much for your patience. All right, I'll see you in 2 weeks.